All right, I want to read you a LinkedIn message I received just yesterday. Here's what the person said. Just that tiny tweak on my LinkedIn profile, and I've received 5 solid recruiter leads. Yes, it is possible to have recruiters reach out to you in your UX job search, but that's only going to happen if you optimize your LinkedIn profile so it's a magnet for recruiters. So, for context, what the heck was this workshop I taught and what changes did this person make to their LinkedIn profile? So, the workshop I taught was all about the UX job search. I'll tell you more about that at the end, or just check the show notes and you'll see a link to get on the wait list for the next workshop. But part of the workshop went into helping you understand the UX hiring process. So let's think of recruiters and hiring managers, right? If they're going through 50, 100, 200 plus applicants for each job they are hiring for, the question is, how do you stand out in this sea of candidates? And things that stand out are different from all of the other things, right? Like, regardless of what it is, the things that stand out are the things that are different from all the other candidates. So, how do you make yourself stand out from other candidates, especially in that early vetting process in the hiring journey, right? So, what are people basing their decision to give you an interview or not, or frankly, even to click your LinkedIn profile or not? Let's maybe focus on just that part of the LinkedIn profile, right? When a recruiter or hiring manager is searching for candidates in LinkedIn Recruiter or just on the main LinkedIn website, right? The main thing that they're going to make their decision off of as to whether or not to click your profile in a list of 100, 200, or 1,000 or more candidates, right? They're going to base their decision oftentimes on your LinkedIn profile headline. And that is the text right below your name. And go to your LinkedIn profile right now. You're going to see your LinkedIn profile headline. But keep in mind that that text that appears below your name on your profile also appears in search results. And so that is why it is extremely important to give a lot of care and attention, detail, and strategy to what you write in that headline. And in this case, this person that messaged me yesterday, they tweaked that headline. And literally within 24 hours of tweaking that headline, they had 5 recruiters reach out to them. So, like, how would your job search change if instead of you like constantly looking for jobs, etc., how would things feel if people were coming to you, right? Literally while you sleep, potentially. That would be freaking awesome. So, the first step to do that, before you actually go update your LinkedIn headline, you have to do the work to identify what to put in that headline, right? Because if you just put, I'm Michael, a UX designer that wants to create products that change the world, that's going to sound like every other candidate. And you will not stand out because that recruiter or hiring manager has read that sentence or variations of it all day long, and they just tune out. It's like, if you've been in the world of UX and product and the internet for a while, you remember that phrase, banner blindness, right? Where banner ads were all over the place. I mean, they still are. And as a result, people experience banner blindness, right? They just kind of tuned them out. And that's also what I think is happening with recruiters and hiring managers. When they see candidates with these vague, boring, kind of philosophical LinkedIn headlines or about me statements, they just kind of don't pay attention because they're like, oh, here's another candidate who says they're a designer that wants to change the world, right? So don't do that. To write a LinkedIn headline that actually stands out, you need to do the work to identify what makes you unique as a candidate. What things from your past make you different than other people? That could be your past roles, your past work experience, your past life experience, whatever that is. So if you are stuck not getting interviews or not getting job offers, but especially if you're not getting interviews, starting with identifying that story about you and what makes you unique is really important. And here's another little thing I want to tell you is that in your UX job search, there's really 3 things that you need to do well in order to stand out and get hired. And designing that story, your career story, is one of those strategies. But imagine a Venn diagram. So design your career story is one of them, right? But then you also need to market yourself, right? In the same way that a product has marketing materials, you as a candidate need marketing materials. And as a candidate, your marketing materials, the 3 most important ones are your resume, your portfolio, and your LinkedIn. And then that third strategy is really a sales strategy, right? In the same way that products have sales strategies, you as a candidate need a sales strategy. And in your job search, the sales strategy is really all about relationships and how you leverage relationships, create relationships, and nurture those relationships before you need them. And here's the thing about those 3 strategies. You need all 3 of those things in order to stand out and get hired. And let's take this example of the person that just messaged me on LinkedIn, right? They were not getting interviews. They were not standing out. They were not having recruiters message them. And why was that happening? Because their LinkedIn, part of their marketing materials, was not communicating a unique story about them, right? So they did not have 2 of the 3 legs of the stool that you need to stand out and get hired, meaning they did not have a strong design strategy. They did not have a strong marketing strategy. And who cares about the sales strategy? Because if they didn't have the marketing strategy and design strategy, the sales strategy didn't even matter, right? So if you are curious about learning more about how these 3 strategies work in your job search, signs that you might be lacking in one or more of these 3 strategies, and how to develop a solid design, marketing, and sales strategy for your UX job search, then I invite you to come join me for the next workshop, the same workshop that I just taught that this guy attended a few days ago. But you can join me for the next workshop. Just get on the wait list at careerstrategylab.com/workshop. And we will send you an email when we have the dates finalized for the next one, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So design strategy, marketing strategy, and sales strategy. And to loop back to the beginning of this episode, a reminder that this is not about making your job search take another 3 months or longer. Don't focus on perfection, because tiny, tiny changes can have a gigantic impact in your visibility as a candidate, just as happened for this person when they updated their LinkedIn profile headline and ended up with 5 recruiters, 5 solid recruiter leads, as that is literally what they said, in less than 24 hours. And also, I have another podcast episode if you want to learn more about writing a LinkedIn headline. That episode was actually way back, episode 18 of the Career Strategy Podcast, and it was called Avoid This Mistake When Writing Your LinkedIn Profile Headline. We'll link to it in the show notes also. Anyway, hope this gives you some confidence, some positivity, and some tangible things that you can change in your UX job search right now. And don't forget, if you want to join me for our next live workshop all about the UX job search, just go to careerstrategylab.com/workshop and we'll let you know when the next one is. All right, talk to you later.